fast, fatal thought impact. Past painful thoughts, in fact, I blast tasteful thoughts and past. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now. Whenever we last left off with this series, we did have quite a lot of things going on. Now, in the last part, Deku and Aki, they invited Vodach's clan to stay on Prometheus. Now, this was not the request Deku made of the clan. He wanted members of the clan to see how life was for the humans. He wanted them to have a place to call their home, because they were a nomadic tribe who, they voyaged around space. Now, many members of the clan, they were very skeptical about this. And then Deku, he made his request. For the members of the clan who do not want to stay on Prometheus, he wants the elites of the clan to form their own and lead them. Now, this was very surprising to the yautja, and many of them, they weren't expecting this. Now, along with Vodach's clan starting to have people settle down on Prometheus, you did also at least have yautja's clan. They were invited to stay here as well, and this seemed kind of strange. Nobody understood exactly why. However, yautja, she spoke to her daughter and Deku. And Deku, he told her straight up the reasons. He wants her clan to stay here because if the child is born and discovered, many yautja, they may see it as an abomination. And he wants their forces on his side. He also did reveal to yautja that if the baby is born, there is a high likelihood that it may possess his powers. And this seemed very interesting to her. She understood that Deku has a strange power, or really genetic mutation, or whatever you want to call it, that the humans, they do call their little powers. She understood that Deku was a very rare human. He learns and he adapts very fast, quicker than most. He was the human who led other humans to the point where they not only spoke yautja, they knew how to use the tech and they knew how to hunt. In fact, most of the humans on Prometheus, they are at least blooded, or at least the rank above blooded, and somewhere in between hunter. Now, Deku, he is seen as a very peculiar being, especially right now, because the fact is, he is also part yautja. Now, with that being said, we do currently have today. Deku, he is looking over many things with Aki, David, and Walter. David and Walter, they were doing medical tests, making sure that Aki, her body was stabilized, and that the baby was okay. However, today they discovered something very strange. During their latest medical exams, they discovered something. There wasn't just one baby. They seemed to have missed it in their scans. And that was something that kind of freaked Aki out. Now, besides this, Deku and Aki, they also were trying to learn more about the engineers. While Deku, he was trying to go through things with the engineer language and trying to decipher that on his own, he was actually able to start talking to Aki about it. The two of them, they didn't really have to vocalize. Deku can say something to her, and she could just think back to him. The two of them, they seemed to be able to do this more and more. They were able to understand themselves or each other better. And this was very strange. While Deku could say something out loud, Aki could just think it. While Aki could say something out loud, Deku can just think it. The two of them, they're starting to understand more and more about their mental connection. And Deku, he also did notice something very strange. Aki was starting to understand more and more about the engineer language, eventually to the point where her and him can hold conversations inside of it. Now, there was also at least David and Walter. The two of them, they were actually very far behind. While they are machines who don't need to sleep, learning a new language is still very complicated. And then there was actually trying to be able to transcribe it or read it, which is another barrel on its own. Now, we do currently have today. Deku, in all the time he has had pass, he's finally been able to crack the engineer language, and at least try to translate it into human in his own mind. Now, Deku is looking over quite a lot of things, and right now he believes that what they're seeing, they need to report on it. They need to tell somebody, because of exactly what they've discovered, and what they may have prevented. Now, the yautja, they actually are all unaware of this, but Deku and his clan, they may have just saved Yautja Prime from a threat. And right now, they are trying to prevent something. Another extinction level event. As Deku is currently standing in the room to his ship, as he does go to click a button and make a phone call. As whenever the phone call does go through, you do have for Deku, he does go to stand in front of the elders of Yautja Prime, or the Grand Elder in his committee. Now, the Elder, he does look at Deku before he does go to stand up. The moment the man does so, you do have where Deku does go to bend onto one knee and lower himself to the man. As the man, he does ask Deku exactly why he is calling him. And Deku does go to look up. As the man, he does stare at Deku kind of confused. Human, what has happened to you? Yes, Grand Elder. That's very complicated. I do not wish to explain the situation right now. We can go over that later. I've been exposed to something. The pathogen that the engineers use. During a mission, it happened, and this was a result of an accelerant. Arm torn off, battle with Hidacha. Records are all there. Please look into it whenever you can. However, this is very urgent. Human, rise. Deku going to stand onto his feet. What exactly is so urgent that you would contact us on a direct line? I understand that you have genetic codes, all those other things that you do send us. We gave you this line for emergencies only, and from what we understand, this does not appear to be an emergency, is it? No, Grand Elder, you need to listen to me. Human, what is so important that we need to? We found the engineers. Continue, Human. We found engineers, the ones we believe to wipe out our civilization. You need to listen. Please. What we discovered, what we found, it's got to be important. Yautja Prime is in danger. We believe it still is. Continue. Okay. Listen. We'll get it translated into Yautja. We only have it translated into human for right now. But we discovered the engineered planet, a military base, a military facility. We found many derelict spacecrafts. We found many engineers. We killed them. We slaughtered them. Yes, I've heard of the reports. In fact, wasn't that whenever you were discovered to be in league with Hidacha's daughter? Yes, sir. I see. And you are currently, at least, a leader, correct? Yes, sir. Aki is also a leader of my clan. Me and her have gotten very close. We've been together for almost 8 years, sir. All right. Well, that is something else. That matter, it does not matter right now. There is no law against it, so I believe it is allowed. However, what exactly is this about danger to Yautja Prime? Yes, okay. We went through the records. We found many things. Of the derelict spacecrafts we found, the engineer weapons, the engineer files, we believe we found something. We found records that do indicate that the Yautja, Their location, Yautja Prime, it's on the engineer star maps. And records do show the engineers, they wanted to go to Yautja Prime. Notes have been made, records have been filed, and data has been transferred. Records have been wiped or deleted, but we do know something. Hmm? Really? Yes, Grand Elder. I do believe that this information is very wary. I do believe that Yautja Prime should be ready for an attack in case of an engineer spacecraft, an engineer vessel. All right. However, exactly why would we believe you? Grand Elder, please. This is something I would not lie to you about. Really? Yes, Grand Elder. I will send you the data whenever we can translate it. I will send you anything we can. In fact, of the derelict spacecraft we found on the civilization or the military facility, we found 7. I will be willing to send over, or at least give over 6 of them for study on Yautja Prime, or study on at least foreign bodies or foreign planets. However, my people would like to keep access to 1. Really? Yes, sir. I will send over the data as to where this planet is. And my people, we will continue to study the spacecraft we do have in our own possession. 7 engineer spacecrafts. What became of these engineers? Sir, we killed them. Me and a group of people I had. I killed one. The other one, me and them got in a struggle, and that's when I was exposed to the pathogen. You speak honesty, Scar. Yes, sir. I was reckless. I made a mistake, and well, it changed a lot of things. I would continue on, but there are many personal matters. Personal matters? Yes, sir. Listen, I need to continue learning more. I need to continue looking more into these records. But please, keep Yautja Prime's weapons pointed towards the sky. If not for engineers, bad bloods even, we don't know exactly what they're doing. Right now, we just want to take precautions, sir. All right, Scar. Well, if that is the case, I do have one more question. Yes. What about you? What about me? What do you mean? You are in possession of Yautja DNA. You are tainted with it, are you not? Yes, I am. But that wasn't an intentional design. Really? Yes. Me and my companion Aki, the one who me and her have a bond with each other. We were both exposed to each other's DNA. It wasn't intentional. I became more Yautja-like and she became more human-like. And this appendage of mine, my eyes, my hair's whites glow, it was not all intentional. This is all an accident. Really, Scar. So, would you be willing to send us your DNA as, well, a way to benchmark you? Benchmark? Yes. If you are different, we wish to study you. Maybe even create another xenomorph in your likeness. I see. You think it would be more unique than the last? Definitely, yes. The one we do have in our possession, it's currently producing a lot. Producing, Grand Elder? Yes, Scar. She is a queen. And she actually has been very intriguing. In all of our times hunting, we have never faced off against a more worthy opponent. And from what you are telling us, this thing might have the abilities of an abomination if we are to give it your current DNA. So, of course we would be more curious. Will you comply? Yes, Grand Elder. I will comply. However, I do not believe that this is a good idea. Ah, Scar, your complaints are noted. However, they were not authorized, nor were they asked for. Yes, granddaughter, I do apologize. Scar? Yes, granddaughter? You do not need to apologize. You may have just spoken out of turn, yes. However, you are still providing entertainment for us. And for that, we do believe that we will overlook this transgression. Thank you, granddaughter. I will accept this with kindness. Now, that would be where the transmission would end. And Deku, he is aware as to the exact situation he has been put in, as he does gather some members of his crew and start to head out. Now, Deku and some people, they do head back to the engineer world where they encountered them. And once they do arrive, you do actually have where Deku, he does have some people start to inspect the engineer ships. David, he is among the crew. And right now, they're going through some of them and making sure there aren't any, at least, protocols put in place that would trigger in case of foreign intruders. Now, Deku, he is the first to enter a ship, and nothing really does go off. And Deku, he is pleasantly surprised. As whenever he does walk through the ship, he gets a sense of familiarity. He doesn't understand why. Something in his mind, it's telling him that this place is... Well, he's been here before. It doesn't make sense to him. Now, Deku and everybody, they do go through the ship. However, Deku, he is leading. And a lot of people, they do watch as Deku, he maneuvers around the place as if he's been there before. And whenever they do arrive in the cockpit, a lot of people do watch as Deku does go to walk over to a pad, or at least a place, where there is a holographic model. Deku walking over and going to bring his hand up. Him waving his hand out of the way before going to bring up his hand and go to do something. A lot of people watching as Deku is going to bring up his other hand and start to manipulate the ship before going to turn off certain protocols. Scar? What? What is it? What did you just do? Huh? What? I don't know. But if it just felt right. So, do you know what you did? Um, my head. I I don't know. I think I made everything better. Let me just why? I know this stuff. Take a look down at the controls. As I does start to click through a few things, he does realize exactly what he did, telling everybody what he did, and they're going to look through certain parameters. Telling people that right now the ship, it is currently put in an idle mode. It's not activated. And right now he does believe if they did want to leave the planet, they could use this ship as well. Scar, would I be able to look at the controls? Huh? Sure, David. David walking over. And he does stare at the console in front of Deku. He doesn't understand it. He, a robot from the future, Deku's future, does not understand the controls in front of him. However, Deku, he manipulated them with the precision of an expert. And he does watch as Deku does start to move around certain things before Deku is going to put in a security code. And Deku, he does at least go to turn to David. What is it? That's fascinating. What do you mean? You really don't understand what you're doing. No, I'm not. What did I do? You, well, you entered a phrase. Did I? Yes. From what I understand, you entered open. Really? Yes, you did. So, Scar, are you okay? Honestly, my head just feels weird being here, David. I don't know, it's some sort of headache. I'm I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I don't like it. Okay, Scar, calm down. Alright? Deku going to turn directly towards David. And David, he does go to take a step back. He gets caught off guard because of exactly the way Deku's staring at him. Because right now Deku's eyes shifted from a yellow color to pure black. The same color eyes as the engineers. And Deku does going to stare directly at David before David is going to bring up a weapon. Him telling Deku to back down. And Deku is going to stare at David before his eyes do go to shift back to the yellow color. What is it? Scar? Are you alright? I'm fine. Why? Ah, my headache is back. Okay. Scar? We can't allow you to be here. What do you mean? Scar. Whatever is going on with you, it's happening again. Happening again? What do you mean? Scar, I believe I should explain it to you later. I don't believe it's best right now. I believe we should explain it to both of you later. So, right now, I believe you should head back to the human ship. The yautja ship, okay? Okay, but you know exactly how to pilot the craft though, right? We can open comms. Guide me through it. But do not operate it yourself. Alright? Okay. Let me get my thoughts together. Deku bringing his hands up to his head. He doesn't understand why. This strange feeling. His mind is itching at him. It's telling him certain things he doesn't understand. He's seeing things he doesn't recognize. And Deku does actually have a location pop up in his mind. Before, Deku is going to turn and go to bring his hand up. Him going to press onto something in the galactic star map as the screen is going to open up wide. And Deku does go walking across the room before he is going to grab onto something. And David watching as Deku is going to grab onto a star system before he is going to grab onto it and then open it up wider. Before Deku is going to click directly onto a planet. That's it right there. What is that? That place. That one. I've seen it. No, not mine. His memories. His emotions, feelings. Everything that he knew. It's in my head. I don't understand. David, that place. I feel it's important. Okay, Scar, listen to me. Focus, alright? Calm down. Right now, what do you feel? Tell me. I don't know. There's something in my head. It's trying to get out. It's trying to find home, place. Now, the good answer is to say the words home place, over and over and over. And a lot of people, whenever they do return to this room, you do actually have for Deku, he's staring directly up at the star map. As we do currently have over on the other side of the universe, where Aki, she was actually trying to lead training. While she herself could not physically participate to a certain extreme, she was guiding certain people through. And there was whenever Aki she did stop guiding a few people through, and whenever she was trying to move around with a spear, you do actually have where she could freeze. Her actually going to look up towards the sky before going to drop her spear. And a lot of people they were kind of confused. As Aki she started to walk in a direction before she did finally go to stop and go to sit down. Her going to bring up her hands and go to take off her mask. Now, a lot of people did go to walk over. As Aki, she did go to face this direction. And whenever somebody they go to walk over, let's say Commander Dark, you do have where she go to walk around Aki asking if she was alright. She was getting no response from her. And this was surprising. Even a lot of people who were just standing there, going through the training, they were brand new. They didn't understand what she was doing. They thought she just decided to sit down and meditate for a minute. Maybe it was something yautja like they do. They didn't fully understand it. However, some of the more experienced hunters who were there, they were trying to understand what their commanding officer was doing. And whenever an actual commander, they tried to find out exactly what she was doing, they knew this was not normal. However, you know for dark, she's going to walk directly around a key. And whenever Akita is actually going to turn her head to look directly at Dark and going to start talking in the engineer language, you do for Dark, she's going to back away. A lot of people, they do see the expression of fear in Dark's eyes. As Dark, she's going to bring up her hands and get ready. Her going to eject her wrist gauntlets, asking Akita exactly what the hell is wrong with her. And Akisha is going to just simply stare, as she's going to turn her head and continue to talk in the engineer language. Before she's just going to bring her hands up and point in a direction. And this is something that not a lot of people do understand. As the key, she's pointing in a direction nobody understands. Before, she's going to bring up her other hand, and then she's going to reach it outwards towards Deku. As we do cut back over to Deku. Deku, he has his hands on his head, and his eyes, they are still black. Deku, he's saying things in the engineer language, and only David can really understand what he's trying to say. And Deku, he actually is going to stop talking for a minute and walking around, before he does go to look directly in a direction, and then go to reach out his hands. The moment Deku does bring his hand up, he does go to reach it out. And David, he doesn't understand. What is Deku staring at? There's nothing in that direction. There's a wall there. Deku just walking forwards. As whenever he does get to the wall, he does go to bring his hand up onto it, and David, he does watch. Deku is staring upwards towards the sky, but his hand is at the wall. That doesn't make sense. That direction. That shouldn't be possible. What's that way? No, wait. If I'm correct on this, the only thing that would be in the direction. Now, David actually is going to watch, as Deku is going to bring up his other hand. It's somewhat twisting in an unnatural way that he does go to point in the same direction as the engineer homeworld. And this is something that David, he does go to watch. He doesn't understand what these two are doing, or what Deku is doing. It just doesn't seem natural. Him going to bring up something on his belt, as he is going to take the weapon he does have, and they're going to click a button. The weapon goes from a lethal stun or a lethal shot to a stunning blast, as he does going to think. This should be enough to take down a normal human, but Deku, he isn't normal. David going to aim the weapon directly at his back, and debating. If the first shot does not take Deku down, Deku might attack him. Deku might rip him apart limb from limb, and his machinery may not be able to be put back together. While it is possible that some maintenance will be required, a full-out attack against someone his size and his strength, it will most likely end in his death. And right now, David, his hand is somewhat shaking. He understands what humans do talk about. The experiences and the stories he's heard before, on hunts. Right now, David, he's feeling self-preservation. The idea that if he just leaves Deku alone, there's a chance he will survive. However, if he does go to intervene, there is a chance he will be slaughtered. It won't even be a fair fight. And a lot of people, they do at least stare at David. As Deku, he is still looking on in this direction. Before he does go to directly turn back around, I'm going to stare directly at David before he does go to look directly up towards the map. Him saying a few things. And David, he does go to listen. He hears a simple word. He hears one word that does somewhat surprise him. He hears blood of our lords. And this is something that he doesn't understand. And Deku, he does go to walk forwards, as David, he actually is going to shoot Deku directly downwards towards his knee. And Deku, after the shot is fired, he does get directly blasted in the leg before he does go to fall over and go to grab at it. Him screaming out in pain as he's trying to understand exactly what the hell is going on. His mind feels like somebody is driving a nail across a chalkboard. And they're not just using their hand. It's like somebody attached it to a drill and started spinning it. Then they started moving it everywhere in every single direction. The sound of the gears moving, and the speed at which the nail will be spinning. It running across that board, it feels like there's 1,000 of them. It's gotta be more. It's gotta be more. That'd be all that Deku was thinking about. And then there's the pain in his body. If it wasn't for that pain in his leg, he'd probably be driven insane. And right now he doesn't understand. These thoughts in his mind, they're not his. They're not his. Whose are they? Who is inside of his head? Now, David is going to send off another blast. As Deku, he actually does get hit again before David does ask Deku if he's alright. To which Deku is going to sit directly up. His eyes do start to change back to a yautja color. And Deku doesn't understand. As whenever Deku does go to look directly at David, he does at least go to feel a bit angrier. Him going to stand up and just inform David that he is in charge of this ship right now, and that he is going to be going back to the human vessel. Deku turning and running out, and a lot of people need to go to watch what is going on, as I do believe that that is a good point to leave this part off of, and I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.